Since the dawn of DC kicked off at the beginning of the year, DC fans have been eating good. The Superman line is revitalized and it's legitimately good. Good comics. We got two good Green Lantern books out. A lot of characters who've been on the sidelines at DC are back in the fold, and it feels good. Then Night Terrors hit, and it derailed all of DC's ongoing stories, putting them on pause for 2 months
What a
to,
nightmare.
to bore us with a sleepy event that felt like the exact opposite of what DC needed. This also exposed the lack of strong direction for DC right now, which is leading me to ask, has DC lost its momentum? Welcome to the show. We've got a lot to talk about today. So many things we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking Loki season 2, episode 1 a little bit later. We're going to do a draft. So make sure if you're watching us live right now, hello, you are hitting that like button, smashing it to make sure we can do a draft a little bit later. We've got a full house today, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's waste no more time getting into this topic. Kale, has
What's up, hot
DC
dog?
lost its momentum?
The night terror sure killed it. I think especially in the case of the Hal Jordan Green Lantern book, boy, did that book take a tumble because it left with a pretty solid cliffhanger, like Hal Jordan catching a falling plane or something and flying right into like a wall of nightmares or something.
Yeah.
And then it was the event. And then issue 3 picks up, 2 months later, and it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
And not to mention the book itself is already broken up into 2 or 3 separate timelines, or 2, I guess. A present and a now, a present and months ago or whatever. And it's ostensibly confusing already because there is a direction, but we don't know what it is yet. So throwing an event in the middle of that really killed the momentum on that book.
And
I don't
it's
know
weird.
that it. I'll go for it.
I was gonna say it's weird because there are some books, like, it wasn't even like a line-wide pause. It felt like only certain books paused. Like Doom Patrol was still going.
That's a limited series.
Yeah.
All the like mainline books paused.
Ongoings.
Yeah, all the
Okay,
ongoing.
gotcha.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Green Lantern one was egregious. It literally has a cliffhanger and then doesn't address it. It literally, it felt like I wasn't, like, the book was in a coma, and it just woke up. Because it almost felt like they expect you to read the Night Terrors tie-ins there to keep that in the main book, but don't reference Night Terrors outside of a passing glance in it. I just don't see the need for Night Terrors. It almost felt like DC had to put out, their August-September event, because that's their thing, But it has been their thing before for literal reasons. Moving offices, launching a new line after that. This felt like they were just doing it to do it. And it really killed the momentum for what I thought was a really good publishing line.
I was gonna challenge the notion that it did have any momentum because this was coming out of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and I don't think we were necessarily like hot on those things. And yeah, the first set of issues I think were, depending on the book, good, passable, but because we only had that small gap, I don't know that it's a fair gauge to say that the Dawn of DC really got its foot off the ground. So I don't know. I think now that we're past this this nightmare, if we're past that, maybe we can start to actually sit down and start to enjoy the books. Maybe from then on, we'll probably have that momentum, I think.
Well, we've been in the dawn of DC for 10 months.
Yeah.
So, that's a decent amount of time.
Yeah, I can name probably half dozen books that are actually really good, or at least were lighting my pants a little bit on fire, slightly ablaze, before Night Terrors.
And
And then,
even pre Dark Crisis.
yeah, like World's Finest. It was one of those ones. I think it's still branded as Dawn of DC, but it started before that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the issue with Night Terrors too, it was that it kind of paused everything, and because it was 2 months, I just started forgetting about what books I was reading.
Yeah.
It's not even like narratively it stifled things. It also like just logistically stifled things for me. Like Shazam, I'm behind on Shazam because I forgot I was reading that and I forgot I was enjoying that because of Night Terrors. And I picked it right back up. The new issue just came out, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, this was good, but I totally forgot about it because Night Terrors happened.
It's rough. It really, I think Night Terrors was one of the worst publishing bungles that I can think of to come out of DC in a while. It just didn't make any sense. When you look at what DC's been publishing and you think about, the Superman books, pretty much all praise. They've been good. Poison Ivy is another one that's really been working for a lot of people and has been successful. I don't care for these books necessarily, but Harley Quinn and Catwoman, they're just sort of starting to try to get off the ground, and Teeny's getting into what she's getting into on those books. It feels like so many of these books were kind of gearing up and ramping up, and then it was just like pause. And what it did for me was, in addition to what Tyler said, it gave me time to think about this whole DC bigger picture. I was like, wait a second, this ain't good. Not the individual books, but like the overall situation. You got Amanda Waller. Listen, we went from Perpetua and the Batman Who Laughs, and I'm only talking power here, okay? We went from those two to Deathstroke. I know there was some other stuff going on, but Deathstroke to Amanda Waller as the big bads.
Hey, now she's got 2 peacemakers with her.
Listen, what she does in the bedroom is her business. I'm talking about being a threat to DC. Then we lost the Justice League, and they're just apart for no reason. Like, there's no reason why they're not working together. They're just not, which probably didn't help with Night Terrors. And now we have the Titans, who are putting out forest fires. What are we doing?
It almost seemed like a narrative, purposeful depowering of just the universe in general. It's like, all right, we need to kind of scale back a bit. Titans are not the global crisis Titans are doing are wildfires and socioeconomic issues, and Amanda Waller's the big bad. Maybe that was just a response to like, oh, right before that was Lazarus Planet, and right before that was Deathstroke that has the anti-monitor's powers in him or something like that. So I don't know. Maybe it was purposeful, but
well, and even still after Dark Crisis, like we didn't even get time to live in this new status quo, right?
not at all.
Like the Titan situation, they're supposed to be the new Justice League. But like Sean said, we've got them fighting forest fires and their status quo hasn't even been lived in.
And I feel like from Dark Crisis to Titans was a significant chunk of time where like it almost felt like it should have been the last issue of Dark Crisis, next week Titans #1.
It was too long. Yeah,
It was
way
like
long.
3 or 4 months if I remember.
Yeah.
And then Night Terrors.
Yeah.
Literally,
So-
we got two issues of Titans, right? And then Night Terrors, and we just read Titans 3. So yeah.
And it was a lot of 2-issue too, like stopping at issue 2, which is hard for a writer, Like, especially the way people write nowadays, it's like 3 issues. Maybe they could have told a full story in 3 issues, or then the clear cut wouldn't have hurt as much. But they
Like an
couldn't even
arc.
really start their stories at 2 issues, so it was just treading water. And yeah, there was still some good stuff there, but maybe Marco was right in the sense where like momentum wasn't even able to be had yet because they couldn't even get their feet on the ground.
Yeah, they would have. It would have been like filler to try to
Oh,
be able
God.
to pass whatever you can in the intermittent time. You know.
I can't believe I just said maybe Marco was right. Oh God.
Revel in it.
Yeah, I think some books definitely suffered. I think for me, Green Lantern was Titans was the biggest one, but Green Lantern was the other big one because I was feeling it. I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm glad that Jeremy Adams is getting another opportunity. What happened to him on The Flash kind of sucked. Getting bumped, I mean, for Psy. So, good for him. And then it's just gone, and I haven't picked back up. And that's the thing that happens. It's like, it's tough on the creative team to find a way to, do 2 issues and then stop. But as audiences, right, as readers, 2 issues, it's like you're barely in my brain yet.
Yep.
You haven't really imprinted yourself upon me. Nothing has happened. That's how it goes, especially in superhero comics. So to get that far in, which is not far at all, and then stop it, there are a lot of books I'm like, hey, I don't need to keep buying this. I was buying Harley Quinn. I stopped that. I realized how dumb I was. I'm not buying that anymore.
Off
You know
the
what I'm
pull
saying?
list.
And by the way, I'm not saying anyone else is dumb for buying Harley Quinn Atomic Count. I know you love it. It's just not for me. And I don't want to waste my money.
The other thing too is you bring up money. If you stop a line and you give people jumping off points in the economy we have currently, you're not going to get those people back.
Yeah.
If
point.
like you said you were able to step back and reevaluate the line, right, Sean? Reevaluate your wallet too. Like, do I need to buy all these books now? So even just in orders, being able to keep that momentum going, they stifled it.
And Perez in the chat says, KT made me go back and read some Marvel.
Yep.
Like, what do you want, DC? That's what you get. Like,
You push
What
them
we're
away.
going to do? Read Night Terrors?
Night Terror's Angel Breaker #2.
Right. Like, what was the alternative? And then you know what else grinded my fucking gears? Was the fact that it wasn't even the same creative teams on the tie-ins that were on the books that the tie-ins were standing in for. Right. So, like, as an example, Night Terror's Batman was written by Joshua Williamson. That was my favorite Night Terror's anything. I'm not complaining about the fact that I got that. Joshua Williamson can do what he wants. I'm saying that if I'm enjoying the voice of, in this example, Chip Zdarsky on Batman, when the tie-in happens, if I'm not going to get that main series, I feel like he should be writing the tie-in. So I didn't even get the voice that I wanted.
Unless the reasoning was to give the main teams time off to be able to bank more work. That's the only reasoning I can give this thing.
but even still, like, we just came out of a crisis,
Right.
a line-wide crisis, which, should be that. Like, that should be baked into DC's plan.
Yeah. If they needed the time, that's bad planning on the publishing end. To then have to interject with that event and then slow everything else down for the sake of people leaving the books, to your point.
To be fair, DC and bad planning kind of go synonymous in my book.
Bad planning?
Bad plan.
That's about the only planning they do, Kale. It's worth pointing out, right, that the way publishing works, Night Terrors was probably slotted in to that position for quite some time. And look, I love comic book writers. They're great. They don't need lead time. All right. Let these men do their thing. These men and women do their thing.
Mostly men.
Well, I corrected myself, but also it's like, damn, 95% of these freaking
Maybe
people are
DC should
dudes.
correct you as well, yeah.
But
Maybe they should correct themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
these men, Teeny and Leah.
right. And G. Willow Wilson.
Right.
But the artists, sure. But if that's the case, listen, we've dealt with fill-in artists. It's a thing. We can do that. I think that if DC had to reflect on the year, it's tough for me to see how Night Terrors doesn't stand out as an error in their publishing line. Does anybody have a legitimate alternative perspective on Night Terrors?
No.
You gonna ask this on the We Hate Night Terrors podcast?
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
maybe there's a listener out there who wants to write us and say, hey, don't shit on Night Terrors. It's my favorite event of all time.
It would have been a good Justice League Dark arc.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
just,
That if you want to launch a Justice League Dark #1, that's a great way to do it.
Yeah. Agreed.
But they didn't even do that.
No,
Like
They're not
whatever happened to
even in
whatever happened to like mini events, like Rot World. I know Marco's gonna perk up at the thought of that, but like Rot World was like a little mini event for Swamp
great.
Thing and Animal Man. You know, so yeah, exactly. So like you can use that to launch new titles after that as well, but you don't have to freaking put the whole line on pause.
In the end, another thing about Night Terrors is that with the Titans being the big heroes or whatever, the Titans weren't even part of the ending of it.
they were asleep.
It was still a Batman event. Like,
Yeah.
It was a dead man in Batman's body event.
right. So it was a Batman event.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
And Sandman.
Oh, yes.
Sean's favorite.
Wesley
Right.
Dodds.
So it was a Batman event.
Right. Yeah.
And like,
I mean, go ahead.
yeah, I could maybe justify it a little more if they were launching titles out of it. Is it just Sandman, which has nothing to do with Night Terrors, because that's part of like the Jeff Johns Justice Society?
That was announced months before Night Terrors happened.
Like if we had like a Zatanna that spun out of it because she had a mini there. Like the characters who had minis maybe getting ongoings after it. Zatanna had one, Angel Breaker had one, which is like a new character Joshua Williamson came up with, who's just like this demon muscle mommy. Give her a book. And like if you were able to like use that to spin out new titles and be like, all right, I get that. They're not even doing that. It's like they forgot about it too.
Yeah, the Titans coming out of Dark Crisis are the new Justice League. Why weren't the Titans the focus of Night Terrors?
Because even
Justice League.
DC knows that the Titans don't sell comics the way that Batman does.
I mean, right, but like, so it's a Batman event, sure. Why not have Nightwing and Starfire fighting next to Batman instead of Superman and Wonder Woman? Like, what are you selling? Are you selling us the Justice League or are you selling us the Titans?
There's no Justice League, Kale.
They don't know.
Well, MP in the chat says the only big positive I have for Night Terrors is forced continuity to sync up, and DC continuity has been a mess for a while.
Sync up. Ow.
And we just came out of Dark Crisis, which was the sync up point.
Yeah, I don't even know that I feel that it did that. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I feel like all it did was give people a reason to stop buying DC comics. And when you look at the way, DC was our publisher of the year last year. So we were feeling them. You're right, Marco.
I'm just surprised that that's where we were.
Yeah, DC has been strong. I'm not even down on DC necessarily. That's the thing about this conversation is that if 6 months from now, if they keep putting out quality, I'll be good. But we've got a Titans event coming up that I don't care about.
And am I wrong in thinking that it's going to be another line-wide thing?
This seems to be the thing I was talking about, where it's like smaller event with other, maybe like 2 or 3 other books tying into it,
like a Gotham War type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got that coming out, but it's like, okay, Beast World. Wow. Amanda Waller somehow tied into that, but okay, that's not really progressing in a way that's compelling to me.
But Sean, that one has Dr. Hate debuting.
Oh,
Another Night Terrors villain.
like I just need some propulsion. You know what I'm saying? Like, without a Justice League book, it doesn't feel like there's a book you gotta get to know, like, okay, this is where DC is going. Because you look at when Snyder was doing Justice League, for example, whether you liked it or not, the major stuff that happened spun out of that book. If Titans is going to be the main book, things have to happen there that echo out. And I guess Beast World will be that to some degree, and they deserve the chance. It's a bit unfair to Tom Taylor and Nicholas Scott that they haven't had the chance to really tell their story yet. But that's not my problem. That's DC's problem. I'm talking about the world we're in right now.
Shout out the Atomic Hound super chat. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow. Atomic Hound. Thank you so much. The 20 spot.
Let's go.
Damn dog.
You guys are correct. Night Terrors is affecting the line now, and I can see readers who aren't fully invested in giving up. By the way, Sean, I hate Harley right now. Strictly a hate read. Great discussion as usual, guys. Enjoy NYCC.
My man dropped the cost of 4 Harley Quinns to tell us how much he hates it.
To clarify, hold on a second. You're about to slander the man's name.
And thank you so much, Atomic Hound. You really, you truly are the man, dog. I want to use this opportunity to say that super chats are open, as Atomic Hound beautifully illustrated. If anybody else wants to partake, of course, hit the like button if you want to do a draft later today. The like goal is 25, so let's hit that so we can do a draft. We've got a lot going on. Tyler, you seem to want to say something.
Well, I was going to say that Harley is Atomic Hound's Avengers for you. Just a hate read at this point.
Can I really just quickly say that if Avengers was a book that was still coming out and we weren't doing this show for some reason, I would absolutely not be buying.
Okay. You wouldn't even do a hate read. It's a show read at this point.
Yeah,
the secret third category. But I did want to say something too, where it's like, I just wish DC could just like simmer down a bit. Like, we don't need line wide events. We don't need crossovers constantly. Like, if I could just live in a DC for even like a year, where like a book like Power Girl gets to do a good 12 issues by itself. A book like Action Comics, the way it is, gets to just tell a story by itself. That's what I want in comics. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to see these writers, artists, the whole creative teams work on a book without it feeling like something else is affecting it.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, let editorial kind of take a backseat. Let the creators cook. I feel like if something organic, I don't know if DC does this, if they have the summits that Marvel does or used to, but if something organic comes out of one of those talks, great.
Yeah.
But just coming up with ideas to make the tentpole event every year without anything kind of building towards that, it's not interesting.
Like, Marvel was good at it, like Hawkeye, Fractions Hawkeye. It's a great example of that. It just kind of came about and they just let him cook. And it's probably one of the best runs of the 2000s, really. Same for like Tom King's Vision when that started. DC always seems like they gotta just shoot themselves in the foot at least once a year. And it is frustrating.
My question is which books right now are the books that you guys are kind of holding on to from DC? Which are the ones that you're looking at and you're going, this is why I'm still reading DC Comics right now?
Action Comics. That's easy.
Yeah.
A lot of heart. It's been doing a good job. PKJ.
Batman. Starsky's Batman. I'm not crazy about the Gotham War, but man, they can weave a tale that gets me excited.
Dude, think about the conversation around Batman from before Night Terrors to after. When Night Terrors happened, people were angry that the story of Batman stopped because of Night Terrors. Now that Night Terrors is over and Batman is back, all of a sudden everybody hates Batman.
For me, Doom Patrol jumps out right away. World's Finest. Recently, Birds of Prey. Pretty damn good. Shazam. Like there is good stuff there. I like the Green Arrow run. People have thoughts about that, but
Nightwing continues to be good, although that's pretty much a carryover to prior, so I don't know if that counts.
I think it absolutely. Nightwing is written. Titans is written by the guy that's doing Nightwing. Why isn't Titans being treated the way Nightwing is?
Oh, you mean like untouched and unbothered by the crossover?
same. Oh,
Well, wish I could be unbothered. No, just that, it feels there's something about it that feels almost sterile. And I don't know if it's the art, if it's the fact that they're not letting the Titans do anything. Whereas Nightwing is involved, he's in it, he's doing it. But he's leading this team, the universe leading team, and he's not doing anything.
Nightwing feels like Tom Taylor doing really good Tom Taylor stuff. And he knows the voice, and he feels like, the same one that did like Suicide Squad and stuff. Titans feels like when you're hanging out with a new group of friends and you don't know how to be yourself entirely yet.
Yeah.
I
completely agree with that.
Still a little
it's like,
clunky.
well, I don't want to say anything that would maybe piss them off. I don't know their sense of humor yet. So Titans just feels a little uptight, honestly. Up Titans is how I'm going to coin it now.
Harris, the Batman hate is definitely go away heat in the reference in the sense that people are unhappy with the series right now and they feel like the Gotham War stuff is cringy. So that's been the vibe since Gotham War started. Again, I don't agree with that. I think Batman itself has been great, even if you don't like Kale said, I don't like a lot of the stuff happening in Gotham War, but for some reason that shit's compelling to me.
Like even if you don't like the Catwoman side of it, and even if you don't like the Catwoman side of it, like the ethical drama that's happening is pretty interesting.
It's a good enough premise to keep that going.
And the art and the family drama that's happening is exciting.
And Tom McCown kind of also brings up kind of what I was getting at with, Titans feels performative. I kind of agree in the sense that it feels performative in like a real sterile way. I think, Kale, you said sterile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it felt. Where like, I think Nightwing is also like a little performative, but I think it feels right for the character and it feels right for the voice. And it doesn't really stick out like a sore thumb for me.
Yeah, he's had time to like build into it, to like find his footing, and he still needs to do that for Titans. So it's just a little bit clunky, I think, but it hasn't been as quick to hop on as he has for other books.
And I'd argue that Nicola Scott art is also a little not very loose either, which is also adding to it.
I was gonna say that too, but I didn't want to just do a drive by, but like
Nicola Scott's catching strays.
Like I feel like if the art were more dynamic, cool, it would be cool.
Pulled in a little more.
Listen, I'm going to say something right now. Tom Taylor has been given the ball, okay? This is the ball. Titans right now is that's the big shot. There will be no more excuses or looking the other way or anything like that for Tom Taylor at this point. He has to nail Titans. If Titans is not good, I feel like his career trajectory changes. Because so far, what are his hits? They're outside continuity stuff like Injustice
and
Nightwing. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Nightwing. Titans is the first like major opportunity that he's been given. He has to nail it. He has to.
But I still feel like the reluctance to take the actual Justice League, like the Trinity, off the table has made it seem like even though they're saying Titans is the team now, it doesn't feel like they are. And I don't know if that's a DC thing or it's just he hasn't taken those reins. You know what I mean?
Let's say that DC hasn't given him, because okay, sure. The Trinity's on the table. Let's say DC hasn't served him up the best opportunity in that regard. He still has to make sure that Titans is great.
Yeah.
Because this is his opportunity. This is his chance. And putting out forest fires, as much as I love the forest and I always liked Smokey the Bear, that's not going to cut it. Sorry. Brother Blood or Dr. Blood or whatever that guy's name is, we got to level up.
And he's just rehashing Titans events.
Right.
You know, the next one is Beast Boy infects the world or whatever. We've done that. Jeff Johns did that. Like I think we said this not that long ago, but the first page of Titans should have been Nightwing knocking out Trigon. Like,
Cool.
the Titans need a level up, and Tom Taylor's not giving them that.
You're saying if their trajectory is ultimately to get to Justice League status, like we need
Yeah.
to have picked up. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Show
they
that
need to-
their big bad is already beyond them. Like they're already
Right,
beyond
right.
their big bad.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Dark Crisis should have kept the heroes, the main heroes that like, you know, the A-tier heroes off the table at least until the end of the event. If you ask me, longer, but at least until the end of the event, and let the Titans beat Deathstroke and all the other villains themselves.
Yep.
That's what had to happen.
Yeah, it's not like Titans also has a former Justice League member or anything like that. Oh wait, they forgot about Cyborg again.
Rip.
Yeah, he's just on the back burner. He's barely in Titans.
And what is Raven, a joke? Like, these characters are powerful. These are powerful characters. I'm all about the Justice League, but if you're telling me this is the moment of the Titans, sell it in content. Sell it in moments. Everybody read Dark Crisis. That was the shot. Let me know there.
And even Night Terrors. Like, if Hound said it in the chat, and I said it earlier, if DC gave a shit, they would have had the Titans defeat Night Terrors.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Bring back Jeff Johns as the leader of DC. You know, I feel like Jeff Johns is a little busy right now.
Doing stuff.
Yeah. I feel like he's got some things cooking. Beast World and Waller Meta War might build up to something, but I'm not invested yet. And I think that's a big problem because Dark Crisis was last year?
Yeah.
And we still haven't gotten to the point where Amanda Waller has done anything interesting at all.
Revealed like larger plans. It's been still in the background.
Can I make an analogy? Tyler, you would, of course, know about this. It would be like if Norman Osborn, after he killed the Skrull Queen, did literally nothing but like pop up in shadows after the fact.
Yeah.
They hit the ground running. My man was immediately the main boss of all of Marvel.
Honestly, you should have given Amanda Waller the kill shot. That would have been a crazy ending to Dark Crisis.
There wasn't even, I don't even think there was a page wasted on Norman Osborn. Oh, we've got to go through the bureaucracy of changing S.H.I.E.L.D. into Hammer. They said, nah, it's Hammer now, and fuck y'all.
Dude, he literally sits right down, if I'm remembering correctly, with the evil villains and is like, I'm in. Let's get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should. I would love to do a retrospective on the Dark Reign era. Oh my
dude,
god,
I'm in.
He said death to the Avengers.
Yeah.
And we said fucking okay.
And they had Mommy Loki there too, drawn by Leinil Yu. Oh boy.
Yeah, that is my shit.
That was also like internet was different back then too, where like none of that stuff would be spoiled for you either, you know. So
Beautiful times. Beautiful
Not,
times.
not like somebody taking pictures of Batman in the back of a comic book store and leaking it on the internet 2 days before it comes out.
Amin Perez in the chat says Amanda Waller and Peacemaker feel more powerful than Titans right now. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing. They have the power to be everywhere. I know that because Peacemaker's in like every book, but he's not doing anything.
they have a really good lighting team with them that loves to give them like underlight for all their dramatic shots.
Yeah.
Never travels without him.
And I agree with Atomic Hound's sentiment. And I think as we wind down, which his sentiment was, having said all this, Dawn is a distinct improvement over Infinite Frontier for me anyway. I agree with that. I think overall, if we're looking at the bigger picture and putting Night Terrors to the side, which even DC clearly wanted to do, I think that, yeah, DC is in a good spot. And I have hope because the new Green Lantern book by Philip Kennedy Johnson is a banger. It is an absolute banger. And there are a lot of really strong titles. It's not that about good books. It's that the overall direction doesn't feel strong. I would argue it felt stronger during that Infinite Frontier sort of pre-Dawn era.
A little bit. There does seem to be a little bit of a let's throw everything at the wall and see what sticks right now. And I think you have things like Doom Patrol, which got an extra issue, you know, because they had buzz around it. But I will say, as I was looking, like when you called us out to see like what books we were talking about, I was looking at my iPad, and there's a lot of good stuff. Honestly, it's out there.
Yeah,
You just have to sift through it, kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I will say I'll give them credit for one other thing too. Is I think the branding of the actual like the trade dressing for Dawn of DC has been very good. Just to know what's part of Dawn of DC. And then they have the little banner, and they usually have like a corner box that kind of tells you what section of the DC universe it's in. I think that's been real good. It real like you don't really have to think about it, but it's kind of affecting you in the background. So I think strangely the branding works out. You know, although I think DC's always been pretty good at branding, in marketing. Like friggin' Green Lantern rings was huge.
that's true.
So,
Yeah. I think that this editorial team that DC has right now, as far as I'm aware, which I'm pretty sure this is accurate, we have seen all of the 5G would have been, could have been, should have been stuff.
Yeah.
So this is them now. This is that editorial team now. The new, fresh team that DC brought in after they kicked out the old guard a couple of years ago. So they have to show us that they understand not just how to pick great creators, put them together, and let them cook, but also how to manage an entire line of books and make sure that these crossovers hit. And so far for me, when you're talking about Lazarus Planet, what's that freaking Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Night Terrors were a little iffy. It's a little shaky.
And that's crazy that we're able to lump like a crisis event with some other events that just like happened and followed after. Like the recency of that is actually wild. You would think you want that room to breathe and live, and they're giving us none of that.
Oh, wow. Roboters brings up a good point. I think we have one more left over of 5G, Killing Joker. Oh, man. It feels like that's what Batman is leading to. That's so interesting. I'm so glad you said that. For those of you who don't know what he's talking about, in the 5G files, one of the things that was brought up was that a Batman who's mentally unhinged, whose mental state has been worn down, gets into a fight with the Joker, or rather with Bane, and he lets the Joker kill Bane.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And everyone finds out, and that causes Batman to have to go on the run. So if something like that were to still occur, which we're seeing the mental state deteriorate, that could be the last vestige of 5G.
Man, if anybody but Chip does that, I'm done. I'm done. Chip has been setting this up so well.
I'm excited for that event.
And Chip's also been avoiding Joker. Like, it hasn't been
Yeah.
touched at all.
Yeah.
It's most of the Zeranar stuff, which Zeranar and Joker have a history. So, and he's tapping into Grant's stuff a lot too. So the Zeranar Joker meetup happened in Grant's run, right, Sean? In RIP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chip calling back to more of Grant's stuff with that, definite possibility. Yeah.
MP
Love
in the
it.
chat says Zer Batman is going to kill the Joker in Mind Bomb, which is, I think, the next Batman arc from Chip. And then they say, and then the Joker will become the immortal Pale Man.
Pale man who laughs.
Who's the immortal Pale Man? Is that the guy I see when I take too many Benadryl?
So, Kel, you're into that idea if Chip does it.
Yes. Because I feel like Chip has set it up, with Zeranar and everything he's been building up to. If they pivot and give it to Mark Waid or, no disrespect, not even to Mark Waid. If they pivot and give it to Wade or Jeff Johns, come on.
You just want him to carry the story
Like
through.
Chip has earned this.
What Chip? I let Chip get away with so much in Daredevil. Like he became an angel. He fought an angel. He went to hell. Like, and it was all good. So I'll let Chip do whatever. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. Chad is saying that Joker has been seeded throughout this Chip Zdarsky Batman run, and that is true. I think it's been lower key. And that's why it's under the radar, because there was, the primary forward-facing antagonist of that arc where Batman was in another realm or whatever was a version of the Joker, a dude who wanted to be the Joker. So that is there, yeah.
MP says Pale Man was Scott Snyder's idea of the Joker actually being an immortal demon all along.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like Chip is reworking that idea.
And then we're gonna close this conversation with a comment from Flo Dameron, who says, "I gotta say, titles like Green Lantern, Shazam, and Cyborg, Night Terrors was terrible. I did like Night Terrors, but you had some good titles, Loose Team." I knew that if this conversation lasted long enough, we would get a comment from a person who genuinely enjoyed Night Terrors. So there you go. What's up, Flo? Thank you for joining us. Yeah. I think that would be like impossible to argue against. Whether you like Night Terrors or not, did books lose steam? Absolutely.
Yep.
So we're giving DC the benefit of the doubt, though. This is not a crisis time for DC. They're all right. They just need to right the ship and cool the events a little bit off and just tell some really good stories, because they've got the roster. They definitely have the roster.
I mean, now they have the ramp for that. So hopefully that they build that steam. Is there another event coming up? What's the next event? Aside Beast Wars World.
At the moment, I think the only thing we know about are what seems like the mini ones.
Okay.
That Tyler was talking about. We've got Beast World.
Gotham War is happening.
Yeah.
Well, we have New York Comic Con next week, and I'm sure they will announce stuff there.
Oh,
There's a Batman panel
That's
already
legit.
announced. Yeah.
We will see.
So, you got some work to do, DC. We'll give you a grade at the end of the year. So be on your A game.
Already on notice.
That's right. That is absolutely right. And we want to put you guys on notice that if you enjoyed that conversation, if you like what we do here, patreon.com/thecomicspals is the absolute best way to support your boys. If you like what we do, we love to give you bang for your buck. We have so much stuff over there, so much additional content, never before seen podcasts, newsletters that are up there. We were always putting stuff up on our Patreon page. As we tackle New York Comic Con, which we're going to talk about a little more later, I'm going to be putting up, this is an announcement, I'm going to be putting up every single day a blog of our experience at New York Comic Con, absolutely free on our Patreon page. So how does that work? Yes. How does that work? If you want to check it out, all you have to do between Thursday and Sunday next week is head on over to patreon.com/thecomicspals. And if you're not subscribed, that is totally okay. You can still read my blog and keep up with us as we enjoy New York Comic Con. Between that and the social posts and the interviews, we have you covered. The other thing you get from our Patreon page is a nickname and a shout out on this very show. So, special shout out to the best pals in the universe, Thunderstruck, Rebecca Alejandro, and the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound. And, of course, thank you to the Night Stalker, Harris Nijinsky, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Starcross Catherine Stars, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Joel Justice, Jalen the Sanguine Sorcerer, Neon Knight, Cosmic Avenger, Marvelous Mike and Mackenzie, and joining the Palsverse is...
Oh, yeah, so I got to... I pitched that I would do the next one, so we will be having... Sorry, that's...
Momentum Killer. You just,
I
just say the name. That's all you had to do.
I didn't have it up. Marley Manastorm. She is joining the Palsverse. So Marley. I mean, Sean might get the reference in this naming convention, but Marley Manastorm has the power to tap into the arcane ley lines within Earth. Marley can summon wild magic to her fingertips. Her spell slinging is strong, but due to the wild nature of it, she doesn't have quite control over what spell happens. So I was kind of feeling like, did you see the Dungeons and Dragons movie at all?
Yeah.
So you understand how wild magic works in like D&D, where it's like, oh, sometimes random magic can just pop out at me. Like, oh, all of a sudden everyone's levitating for no reason because I don't have control over things.
It's a bit like the Mary Jane jackpot thing.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. And now I guess magic exists in the Palsverse. Did we ever, is this a retcon? Is this a new revelation?
I don't think
I don't think we have a magic user.
Ooh. Comics Pals Dark.
Nice.
Ooh.
Well, so what's her story?
Her story is that she just woke up, has no memory of her past, but has this strong feeling with, it's not quite nature, but it is this, it's the way I imagine Eric Adams feels about New York City. It's this vibe that she can just pull out from underneath the crust, really. And because of that, she uses that to not necessarily help people, but everything, there's just stuff always happens around her. She's trying to figure out where this power comes from. But, because of that, she just gets into a lot of shit. And it's a little bit of Pink Panther-y, like bumbling around, like, oops, you're welcome, I saved you. I didn't mean to, but I did. So I wouldn't go quite full hero, but definitely not a villain. So kind of in this weird liminal space in between, we're just trying to, like, figure herself out. New hero kind of story.
There is a legitimate. There is a theory that Alan Moore has actually put out that things are connected, in the universe. Yeah. And, if you can like envision yourself doing the thing, you can find it. So my comics professor one time went and listened to Alan Moore talk, and my professor went and just got like lost in the city or whatever, and he realized he got lost. It was getting late or whatever, and he went, man, wouldn't it be crazy if I stumbled across Alan Moore's place? So he just starts walking. An hour later, I shit you not, he comes across Alan Moore's place.
That's awesome.
Is there a sign? Like, how do you know it's Alan Moore's place? Like,
you probably know.
Does the door have a beard? Like, is it a tall tower with no doors? Like,
a wizard tower of snakes going up
it. It's just a black monolith from 2001.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Did he knock on the
can't-
door? Did he go in?
I don't think so. Would you go in? I
Yeah,
wouldn't go
I would.
knock on Alan Moore's door.
I would,
I'd
yeah.
knock on Alan Moore. I mean, I'd be turned into something like off rip, but
He probably has like
I'd
a
have to go back
green
home.
man door knocker.
Yeah. Yeah. A gargoyle or something.
But just the idea of ley lines, I really enjoy. You know, it's big in Warcraft, big in D&D. Literally, the mayor of New York does believe that New York City is was built on a crust of magical gems that gives it its vibe. He has said this, so that same kind of feel is how
Probably not
I feel
great.
about this.
my mayor Eric Adams has said that.
Yeah, your mayor. Yeah,
Wow. Well,
So
thank
that's
you.
Sorry, can you say the name one more time?
that would be Marley Manastorm.
Thank you, Marley, for joining us. We hope you enjoy your time in the Palsverse. Appreciate everybody who becomes a part of it. You guys are amazing, and we love you. If you want to watch this show live, it will be next week live on youtube.com/thecomicspals on Sunday night. So because of New York Comic Con, we are not actually going to be able to do the show at the normal hour. We are going to shift and do it on Sunday night. We'll keep you posted on the time that we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But that's our plan. So hopefully you guys can come have a nightcap with the Comics Pals.
Comics Pals After Dark. We getting drinks.
You can get drinks.
Can we do that? Can we do that on YouTube?
We've done Comics Pals After Dark at 11 a.m. I've been here, drinking. So,
Time don't matter.
Pals Pulls this week is live Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the same reason. So, adjust yourselves if you want to catch us live this upcoming week.
Does anyone want to volunteer for the next Palsverse thing as well, just so we can maybe sell that?
I'll do it.
All right. So if you subscribe, Marco gets to give you.
Is that a sell?
I think for some
I
people
do
will
it.
be.
I mean, I think Tyler's been advertising himself long enough that I don't think it's a sell.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it just happened to be. Yeah.
Join our Discord server. We're always having a ton of fun over there. It's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And the next book club is going to be on October 30th. It is going to be live.
Live from New York.
Yeah, technically ish. And it is going to be, we're going to be tackling Batman: The Long Halloween. For the first time ever, we are going to talk about that book in a book club form. We encourage you to join us because not only is it live, not only we're doing The Long Halloween, but we want to hear from you live after the book club ends in a talkback. We want to know what you think about The Long Halloween. We want to engage with you on your thoughts on that series and why you love it so much, because who doesn't love it? I'd like to hear from someone who doesn't love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's almost unanimously like the Batman story. So I want to see what
Yeah.
you think. Yeah. I want to see some haters.
Not again.
Speaking of Batman, and given the month, it's October, spooky time. Batman has been in some spooky books. Batman is one of the most popular, I think, like sort of scary heroes, because Batman is often used in that way. In honor of that, I want to do something a little different around these parts. So what we're going to do, what I have decided today, is that today will be the first day of a new countdown. And so what I'm counting down is my top 5 favorite Batman stories.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there an order?
Yes, I gave it to you. Well,
Okay.
We're doing two this week, and then one every week after, where the last one will be on the last Saturday of October. So that's how we're gonna do it. And I want to knock these out of the park real quick. The rules, not rules, but my thoughts. These are Batman stories exclusively. So like, it can't be like, for example, an honorable mention would be Batman Black Mirror. Love it, great story. Bruce isn't in it.
Oh, it's
okay.
got to be a Bruce book.
Yeah,
Okay, and it can't be like Justice League, Tower of Babel, because that was like, even though it was mostly a Batman story.
exactly,
Got it.
I have to
exactly.
write these down.
So I have to throw two out this week, so I will do that. The first one, number 5 on my list, is Batman: The Court of Owls.
Oh, it's a high ranking for that.
I think it's a low ranking for that for Sean.
That's a
Yeah?
good ass book.
I love The Court of Owls. It's phenomenal. Of course, we're talking about Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. This was the first time for me in my life that I got to come in on the ground floor of a new Batman creative team. Because I came in, I didn't start with issue 1 of Grant's run. Not that it was issue 1, but you know what I mean. I didn't start there. And that was the first Batman anything I had read. So I started fresh with Scott, and I was really excited. This was the new 52. This was just so cool. And the Court of Owls felt truly distinct and special, and different than everything else I had read. Yes, it's a secret society underneath Gotham that has been controlling things from behind the scenes, which is the exact same thing as the Black Glove. I know that, but it was so creepy. And I love the way that it sets Batman up as thinking he knows everything, but really knowing nothing. And the way that that mystery unfolds was just so interesting to me. And then my favorite issue of that arc, everybody remembers this, the issue where Batman is drugged and beaten and he's in their lair, and Greg Capullo is playing with the book, and it's turning and
Yeah.
it's creepy and horrific and disorienting, and you feel like you're going through what Batman is going through. That was phenomenal. Just a great arc of Batman storytelling. Love that. And then number 4 is Batman Gothic, which I love. I have read Batman Gothic probably as much as anything except Grant's run. I love it so much. This is, speaking of Grant, this is Grant Morrison with Klaus Janson, and it is a strict horror book. It's a horror book, but it doesn't lean into the horror so much. It's more psychological in a lot of ways. It's asking you big questions about, God and the devil. How do these concepts and ideas play into Bruce's life as a child? And it interweaves a very, very old villain that Batman will confront more than once in future Grant stories. Major Grant heads will know what I'm talking about. And probably one of my favorite panels in all of comics, which if you listen to our Batman Gothic book club, you will know all about. I love Gothic. I think it's great, and I think it's underrated. So those are number 5 and 4. We'll do the rest throughout the month of October. You guys are welcome to tag along. And by you guys, I mean the rest of the pals on this show, and also you guys that are listening. Think about Batman. Think about your favorite books. Everybody has 5 favorite Batman stories, and I want to hear them. I'm just kicking it off. So that's what we're going to do.
I got mine, or I at least have my 2 today.
Go for it, dude.
So my first one will be Batman: The Last Arkham. Now this isn't Arkham Asylum. It's not any of the other really cool Arkham Asylum books. This is the first appearance of Victor Zsasz and Amygdala and Jeremiah Arkham. So I believe, I could be wrong about this, but I believe that this might be the first time that Batman gets put in Arkham. and he goes in very specifically to weed out corruption in the Arkham system, and he thinks it's linked to Jeremiah Arkham, the guy that runs the place. Turns out Victor Zsasz is just slipping out every night and killing people.
Damn, that's pretty cool.
It's an incredible story. It's Alan Grant, Norm Brayfogle. It happens before Batman Nightfall, which is also really cool. I didn't know that. I have always loved stories where where normal people call out Batman on his bullshit and he gets locked up. Because this dude is crazy, right?
Yes.
And were it not for the fact that the Joker's out here doing all the bullshit he's doing, he would be locked up. But I think it's very impactful when everyone else calls out Batman and says, "No, man, you're the problem here. You need to sit and think about what you're doing and what you've caused." And it turns out Batman's right. But it really gives good introspection and good action. Geez, how's Batman gonna get out of this? And he always does. And he's always right.
Love it. Pretty much. Those are two stories I haven't read.
Yeah, it's incredible. I highly recommend it. My number 4 is Batman Nightfall. This is where Batman is taken out. This is his doomsday event. This is where Bane breaks his back. The Bat. Go ahead, Tyler.
I don't. No, I'm good.
Oh,
I stopped myself.
I
from
think
a bad
this
joke. Okay, and then
it was my first experience in a real long Batman saga. The early DC trade system had, I think it's 3 volumes of massive trades. I just think it's great. We get to see Batman at his weakest, where he goes up against Bane. Bane breaks him, and then we have to see the rise of Jean Paul Valley as Batman, and then eventually, he becomes Azrael. Tim Drake is in the middle of this trying to navigate it all. But at the end of Nightfall, you also get to see Bruce Wayne train himself back up, and he has to go through a legitimate gauntlet in a ninja bat outfit. That's just, it's dope as hell. It's something that I think nobody does anymore. Probably because it's been done, but it's a story that I think deserves attention.
I haven't read it. I've never read Nightfall.
Yeah,
I
same.
sold a lot of Nightfall when I worked at a
Feels
Barnes
like a
Noble. Yeah,
Huge gap.
Yeah.
I know the consequences and the larger story of it, but the event itself, yeah, same.
Yeah, highly recommend it.
My number 5 would be, and I'm still thinking up my number 4. I may need to sit with that one.
yeah. I don't have any.
The Zero Year. I remember that stuck out during New 52. I like going back and taking a look at some of those villains, and that was a really fun Riddler sequence. I have similarly a memory of you turn. There's just a single page where you're looking at a maze potentially, and or a series of boxes, and then you continue to tilt the book around and around and around as you decipher and navigate. And I'm just yo, that. And when you get to see Bruce do detective work, that's my jam. I love that kind of stuff. And so I got to see not only some inventive stuff coming off Capullo, but also I think a really gripping story coming out of Scott Snyder, where he has to do the work if he wants to beat the bad guy, and Riddler's a great villain for that.
I know my top two. I don't know my bottom list yet. I'd have to sit on that for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitive top two easily, but then there's a lot that I can do like probably a top 10 if I was rattling them off, but I want to order them, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's crazy. I just knocked out my top 5.
You just know it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm missing one. I know there's one.
You only have 5.
No, but there's one that I'm thinking of that I'm forgetting the arc.
Well, we'll do this. We'll do this every week until we've all gotten through our 5. And I see so many. You guys are great. I love all the people posting your lists or your 5 and 4. Whether you want to, do it as we do it, or just drop it all in the chat. That's up to you. But I love seeing all these different books. A lot of these that I haven't read or haven't read in a while. So yeah, thank you guys for that. Love that. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, or do the equivalent if you're listening to us on a podcast platform. We appreciate everybody who supports any way you do it. Thank you guys a lot.
The potential draft is relevant to our first discussion, so there's a little teaser.
Yeah.
Together a new DC.
What?
Well, shoot. I'll drop it right now. We're drafting a team of Titans at the likes goal, which we're one away from.
Kale's gonna win that one. So
Word.
We're gonna have to talk about the rules of that a little bit
we
later,
will, yeah.
by the way.
Oh, don't worry. My team falls well within the rules.
Well, no, not for your sake, for my sake.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be okay.
Y'all getting smoked.
No grown men.
Well, we hit the goal. Didn't take long, so let's bump it. Let's do 30. How about that? Since you guys are so slick.
And believe it.
Yeah.
Sylv, come on. Sylv's not going to hit the like button. What? After everything we've done, after everything we've been through together.
I appreciate the openness.
Candor.
Well, you know what it is. If we don't read someone's comments, they just won't give us the like. That's not a reference to you, Sylv. We're making this an inside joke.
A little inside joke, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of the listeners and giving them their say, why don't we quickly get into a couple of listener comments, Tyler?
I was muted. Yes, hi, hello. Listener comments. I have so many screens open right now. So we had a listener comment from Joel Justice on Discord saying, with this being October 1st in the U.S., I wanted to ask, what is your favorite fall media to consume? Okay, can I just say one thing? The phrase media consuming, it gives I hate, like, nothing against you, Joel. That is just like a thing people say now. It gives me the ick.
As an artist, saying I read a book as I consumed this media doesn't feel good.
That's not a you thing, Joel. That's just like across the board. Marco loves it. He gets to put it into his binary bin, and
And just reference it for later.
I've got my favorite fall thing, if you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Mine is Over the Garden Wall.
Series, right?
It's a 10-episode animated series by a guy called Patrick McHale. It came out in 2014, I think. And it is the fall cartoon.
I've seen one episode and I loved it. But yeah,
make time, because it's each episode is about 10 minutes long. But it's completely worth it. It's so it's a story about two young boys voiced, one of whom is voiced by Elijah Wood. And his younger brother is legitimately, like, this kid sounds like he might be like 5 years old, which fits for the character in it. It makes for just such good moments But so these two young boys end up lost in the woods, and they come across a talking bird and a village of walking pumpkins, and they have to sort of navigate their way back home or get caught by the beast.
Ooh, I didn't realize it's only one season.
It's a one and done
really?
sort of thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I was always worried because I've heard good things about it, but I was worried it was gonna be long. It was gonna be like a time commitment. But if
No.
it's damn, where can I'll figure that out.
Not
I'm
on
gonna
Max
watch it.
anymore.
I-
it is currently
I-
nowhere.
I love it so much. I have bought it on iTunes.
Oh wow, okay.
Like I genuinely watch it every October.
I do that with Donnie Darko for Halloween specifically. Me, my brother, my cousin. It's a yearly rewatch. It's just attached to memories when we would hang out, and so now we just keep it up as a tradition when we can.
I've never seen that, but that tracks for you, Marco. I don't know how to
It's a
explain
lot
it,
of fun.
but that feels right.
Sci-fi time travel.
I didn't know it had time travel in it. I thought there was a bunny in it. That's all I knew.
Oh, Bunny's real cool.
I literally know nothing about it.
I think you would get a real kick out of it. It's a very good,
Probably,
I think, cinematic piece too.
Yeah.
Is that the one where like the I only know this about it. It might not even be this movie, but the DVD menu is backwards or something?
I don't know.
Or is that like Memento or something?
That's
That's
probably
kinda funny.
Memento. That makes sense.
Okay.
The if we're talking about actual consumption, Pillsbury Halloween cookies, that's a fall consumption for me. It's not medium, but they're so good. Like the
Apple
ones
pie.
the ones with the little pumpkins on it, or the ghosts, the sugar cookies, so good. But actual consumption. So every year I usually manage to watch Halloween Town 1 and 2, the Disney Channel original movie. They're not scary. They're goofy. They're cheesy. They're horribly made, but it's just kind of like a warm thing for me. And in terms of like actual horror movies, I always find my way around back to Sleepaway Camp every year around this time. Sleepaway Camp is just a really bad 80s slasher that has one of the worst twists I've ever seen in my life in a movie. It's highly problematic. But I had a friend, my friend Kevin, who's watching now. Shout out Kevin. Got me a light switch for the I guess climactic shot of the movie. So there's a little part that switches. So I give you a hint of what the ending is about. Yeah, I recommend it. It's like everyone is supposed to be teens at camp, and they look 40. It is hilariously bad. But yeah.
I get into watching Buffy a lot during this time. It's my comfort show. So at this time, if it's October, you can rest assured I am watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Dawson's Creek. I am in the middle of a run, 100%.
Are you in the middle of a Buffy run right now?
Yep.
Where are you at?
Angel just turned that.
He's literally watching it while he's doing the show. He's barely paying
I see it in the
attention.
reflection of his glasses. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my thing. And then my girlfriend and I watch like a bunch of, like horror films, or we're like into psychological horror movies. So we just watched The Game. I don't know if you guys know about that movie, but that is a
That
classic
movie rules.
Wait,
If
which
you're
one?
not doing anything tonight, watch The Game.
I've been watching The Game for 15 years, and I'm telling you right now, if you don't know what it is, do not look it up. Do not watch a trailer. Just watch it. You won't regret it.
I haven't
I
seen
will
that
check it
movie
out.
since high school, and I have not stopped thinking about it since high school. I love that movie.
Who's in it? It sounds familiar.
Michael Douglas.
Yes, I have seen The Game. I saw it in college, in school. Yeah.
No spoilers. It's one of these Michael Douglas movies where the dude gets so horny he fucks up his entire life. That's all I'll
Man,
say.
Just like me, for real, for real.
Felt.
Also, good fall tradition, Survivor Series. I always look forward to wrestling Survivor
yeah.
Series every year.
Absolutely.
This year,
Absolutely.
Sean might like it a little more. So
I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about
We'll
that
talk off air.
yeah. Angel greater than Buffy. You couldn't be any more wrong. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god. Can we ban? Can we ban? No, he's doing that on purpose.
Next listener comment. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you.
So this one we got via email. So thank you to Christian who emailed us. Said, "Hey gents, first time reading Claremont's Uncanny X-Men from like '04, right before House of M. I like his voice for most of the characters, but after the first two arcs, the story seemed just kind of average. Do you guys like this run? Also only reading this and other associated titles, so I have context for Messiah Complex. Thanks, gents. Keep up the great content. AEW talk included." I think. Thank you, Christian, for the email. I think you're reading the wrong Claremont.
Oh,
Probably true.
I think you're reading too late in Claremont's run. Claremont stuff, the Claremont stuff, is right after Giant Size X-Men. It's that into, the real school stuff. You get Days of Future Past, Dark Phoenix Saga, all of that stuff. The introduction of Alpha Flight, all that stuff. That's I think the heyday of Claremont. I think around the 04 time and right before House of M, it almost felt like that was Claremont's there. He was just there because Claremont and X-Men were a thing. And that's all it was at that point. It was almost like a legacy hire at that point. I think the House of M stuff is great, and I think you're gonna get to some good stuff, but it's not the good Claremont stuff.
So to add to that, I feel confident, although I'm open to correction if I'm wrong, that this is after Grant's new X-Men.
Correct. Yep.
And this sort of and subsequent series would also roll back and retcon a lot of the things that Grant did. Marvel didn't know where to go after Grant, so they went back to Claremont. And I think it's pretty clear based on the content that that's the case. I feel like, if you want to read classic Claremont, you're going back to, the old stuff, which is all amazing. But coming off of Grant, I don't know how you can go backwards from that.
And I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was. I imagine that discrepancies felt pretty bad because Grant's writing is so different. It just operates at a different pace and at a different level typically. And so to go back to from that, let's say you're looking ahead, you're moving on in the early aughts, and to move back, especially and I'm going to assume that Claremont's writing style hasn't necessarily upgraded. So even when you're looking back on those books, you kind of have to get in the mindset of, I'm reading an older comic. I have to understand that context to appreciate it. But if you're somebody who was probably reading at that time and that's the thing you came back to, I don't know that you make the adjustment. I think you drop the book.
Yeah. Claremont's, Tyler said it, but I'm with it. Like, Claremont's best era is the stuff that the X-Men is based on. Yeah. It's the 70s and 80s stuff that really made the X-Men a household name. And that Marvel would try and go backward from evolving from that. Like, that's a hard shift.
I fell off of Claremont, or when I was doing that whole reread, I fell off right after Madeline Pryor gets introduced. Like, they have there's an airplane accident, and she becomes like the survivor and stuff, and so that's where I'm like, okay, things got wacky, unruly. That's where I'm calling it.
That's where X Factor started happening too, and with Scott, yeah.
I need to go back to that.
Honestly, I think maybe possibly controversial opinion. The what was it? X-Men Grand Design in recent years. It's a great summation of X-Men history. That if you're interested in the X-Men, you should check that out. That's Ed Piskor. Some people have thoughts on him, but I think it is a pretty cool cool book to check out as well.
The whole lot, that whole grand design thing is all awesome. They had one for Hulk.
Yeah, different creators each one. Yeah,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four was the other one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. New X-Men was so problematic for Marvel that those runs are doing retcon work like no other to redeem Magneto once again. For what? Because then you go into Claremont's run, which was basically a stopgap, and then right after that you get into Astonishing, which, if I remember correctly, Magneto was not even a factor in. So it's just like, what did they do all that for? It was for nothing. Why did Zorn have to be retconned? Why did Magneto have to be retconned? That was uncalled for. Marvel, it was an egregious sin, and had they not done that, Grant probably would have gone back. But they ruined everything that they worked on. And by they, I mean Grant.
Yeah.
Really unnecessary. But some people think Marvel's shows are unnecessary. I don't.
Me. Oh.
Not all of them, anyways. Certainly not Loki, which I think, even if you didn't love Loki, it's definitely in the better batch of Marvel shows than the rest. Season 1, I thought, ended strong. Of course, it introduced Kang, and it really played with the idea of variants, and we got introduced to the TVA and everything else. Season 2 has finally dropped, and we have thoughts. We are going to discuss the Loki Season 2 Episode 1, which dropped Thursday. We each got to check it out. I feel like we can do like lightish spoilers. So if you really, really don't want to hear anything at all, you should probably step away. We can try to keep like the meatiest things out, but we're going to have a conversation about the episode. So
most spoilers would be really for the end of Loki, because this is more of a direct.
Yeah.
Not much in terms of plot point happens in this.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't tell if you didn't see the end of Loki Season 1.
Could we start there? That not a lot happened?
I think I like that, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't like that. I wanted more movement, because I guess I'm coming in with the knowledge already of what happened in Loki, and frankly, I forgot bits and pieces of it. I didn't go back to rewatch necessarily, but
Yeah, sorry, Marco, quickly. Did any of you watch it? Rewatch Loki?
no.
I don't rewatch anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
preach.
Okay, yeah. So I think it took a sec to be like, okay, that's right. This thing happened. Fine. I'm back in that mindset. Let's move on past that so I can get into this now story. But it felt very delayed into getting to something. There were just a lot of talking head moments, and I didn't appreciate that for this season, especially with how just quick we started. We were just like in it. Yes, they're these leaders are fake. The TVA, who knows what they're there for? Like, these questions are rising up, but they felt like they got brushed to the side for this very slow build up that I don't know. To be fair, it's the first episode, so we'll see where it goes.
Sean, do we know how many episodes is this? Is this like an 8 episode or a 10?
I believe it's 8.
Okay.
I believe it's 8. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, I agree. Top lane, yeah.
I actually like this. The longer I sat with Secret Invasion, the more I was pissed off about that show. Where it felt like the problem, I think, with a lot of Marvel Disney Plus TV shows is that they're movies that are then spread out to feel like a TV show. Whereas I feel like Loki is one of the few shows that feels like a show. It feels like it's paced in a way that is intentional to be episodic. I think
I'll give you that. Yeah, I think that's fair.
which allows the slower moments to happen and allows character moments to happen. That's why we like a guy named Mobius M. Mobius, who's just Owen Wilson. Like, that's his character. But we like him because we get to sit with him for a bit. We get to learn that he likes jet skiing. You know, we get to actually have character growth there. And I think with this, it's also like, it feels like the director is actually trying something here. Where, like, I'm trying to think of, outside of like James Gunn's, Guardians, like that was like James Gunn thing. All the most recent MCU stuff. It's just been like house style. Where there are some shots in Loki, in this Loki, that I think are good. I think there's a couple of shots where it's Ki Kwan's character talking with Loki, and then it's intercutting with him and Mobius, and they're really close up shots that start to get a little closer and closer as it gets more hectic and hectic. Like the way the shot composition feels intentional, as opposed to let's just shoot the thing, which is what I feel like a lot of MCU stuff has been lately. So watching this, I was like, okay, I like this. I think I like this. I actually really like season 1 as well. So
I had to fight myself to be interested in this. Between the Marvel TV shows mostly being, God dang it, being
Do it again.
well, no, not during Loki. I didn't like it. I'm putting it out there. With the Marvel shows being mid at best, the Loki being especially egregious in terms of its visual stuff, with the CG and everything basically looking like massive green screen. I that was my massive complaint through the whole season 1, and I hated it. Coupled with Ant-Man 3 and the Jonathan Majors stuff, man, I'm out. I'm out on Kang. I'm out on Jonathan Majors. I don't care about any of it. And I just like, there were bits and pieces of like the time stuff where I could like see where it was going. But even then I was like, don't engage in this because it's not going to matter. Like,
Kel, did you stay for the after credits of this episode?
Yeah, and I didn't care.
Okay. Sean, you're muted.
Sean, you're muted. Yeah, something's going on.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Hey there. Yeah.
I'm going to, I guess, tie things up because I loved this. I thought episode 1 of season 2 was fantastic. I really, really appreciated that it kept a, contrary to what you guys kind of laid out, I thought it was a very propulsive episode. I thought it had a lot of stakes that were immediate and present and understandable. I felt like if you remember what happened in the last episode of season 1, or you watch the recap, it kind of slots you right back into that place. And, I cared about it all. I still love Mobius, and this was the show that got me to be a Loki fan in the MCU. So I was connected to what they were dealing with, and watching him kind of time warp around and see like the old TVA and the new TVA, and kind of, bringing to light the truth of what's going on with the TVA and who's really behind the scenes, being Kang. I thought that the way that was all done was really, really cool.
I love just the way it was shot too, like the color grading changed as you went through it. I was like, oh, there's actual cinematography being done in this. They're working on like the set design of the TVA is my shit.
Yeah.
I love like this like retro mid-century modern look to it, retro futurist. It's my thing, so I'm just predisposed to like it. You guys should check out the TWA Hotel. It's right near, I think, JFK Airport.
Yeah,
it's a hotel that's almost feels like the TVA. It's
really nice.
Yeah. They have a bar there. You want to go, Marco?
Ooh, yeah. I've heard good things, actually.
Yeah. But, no, I thought this was fun. And also, Ki Kwan is great. Even though...
Yeah.
He felt stifled to me. And maybe that's the character. Because there were bits where it was like he was very clearly, it felt like he was putting something on.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel quite natural.
I
agree with that.
I'd argue that's Ki Kwan though. I'd argue this is it feels a bit like Data, from Goonies, where it's like, oh, I got all these gadgets. Look at all this thing. You know, I was expecting him to say booby traps all of a sudden, but
Yeah, but that was 40 years ago. Like this is an
mean,
adult man. Like
yeah, I know.
it didn't, it didn't feel like that.
Yeah, I felt more along the lines of UK of just like it felt clunky, and some of the moments were just like bits for the sake of being a bit, which I didn't. Well, I didn't appreciate it as much. Just some of those moments, it felt like it slowed down the story for no reason. We didn't have to go through all this rigmarole. Like you could have cut that scene.
Top Lane says it felt like an actor playing a person acting.
Word, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I got something so different out of him. I'd never seen him before. I didn't catch everything everywhere all at once. So this was my first exposure. And I thought like a person, if there was a TVA and it existed for all this time and you were alone in a freaking, a storeroom, a workshop room by yourself, you might get a little weird. And I liked how weird and offbeat that dude was. And I liked how, like, he knows everything. He's definitely the perfect person for Loki to be speaking to. But because he knows everything and because of how rigid he is, the only way that they could convince him to help was the fact that Loki was dealing with this time warp. And I also thought that was a great way to explain to the audience who might not fully get it how this whole thing works. So I thought the rules of the time warp were expertly baked into that conversation to help watchers understand what was going on.
That's fair. The function I think worked well. I think the character portrayal just rubbed me the wrong way.
I wonder if maybe they could have like Ki-Hei-Kwan it up a little bit more, whereas what Sean said about the character is right. And he did that mostly really well. There were points where like there's a bit I think it's when Owen Wilson is about to do the thing.
Yeah.
And he says a line, and then Obi is the character's name, Ouroboros. The character goes, okay, but he doesn't say it flatly.
Right.
Like he almost wants to put some excitement there, like he should have said something else. That to me felt clunky. It didn't feel like, that person would be saying that, because that felt.
I was getting it as purposeful.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Writing wise, it is purposeful. And I see you and I agree with you. His portrayal in that moment was not that though.
And then even when Triple M is like, trying to do the thing and Obi's like, you got 30 seconds, man. And he's counting them down and he gets to 5, 4, 3, 3, 3, like just trying to give him more time. I don't know. I was so connected to this episode. I haven't felt this good about something that I watched in the MCU on television, at least in a long time. This was it for me. And I loved the fact that Kang was not in the episode, but he's also everywhere in the episode.
That was well done.
Yeah, I mean, after seeing Jonathan Major's performance on that viral high school girl fight clip, I'm excited to see what else he can do in Loki.
You better watch out. Chill's here.
Oh, okay. Top Lane gives a good point. He mentions Gen V. Have you guys checked out Gen V at all? It's the Boys spin-off show.
Oh, okay.
And I think there is a distinction here that I felt because I watched these back to back. Gen V feels like a TV show that just so happens to be based on a comic book, but it's a TV show. It is what it is. Whereas Loki, there is a part of it, and I think it's a benefit, and I think it's a knockback, that it needs to be part of a bigger thing, and you feel that in the show, where it's like as much as it can be a season of TV, it is still a smaller piece of a larger puzzle. And I think that weight of it brings it down a little bit, but also gives it a little bit of gravitas. So like gives it a little bit of like, oh, okay, it's worth it to watch this. And I think I flip flop back and forth on whether that's a good thing. Whereas like Gen V just gets to be a TV show, and it is friggin' wild. I recommend that. It's a very good show.
All in on Loki season 2. All in.
All out.
Look, glad you guys had a good time.
Kale, check out Gen V. You might like it.
No.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. I heard good things. A friend also mentioned it was pretty good.
There's a 5 foot tall, actually built penis model they made for the show. So,
All right, I'll watch it.
yep.
Specifically for the penis.
Wow.
That better be the first thing I see.
Read Alec Robbins' Crime Hot.
Well, DC, back to DC land, has decided that they want to kick off January. They want to start the new year with Wonder Woman's daughter,
Trinity?
Trinity. Yes, absolutely.
From the
Trinity is going to be getting her own comic in 2024. Now, before you lose your head, I am talking about a one-shot comic that is going to feature some amount of reprints, and also new stories. It's a little weird, quite frankly. We are going to see a story by King. Mitch Gerrits, Doc Shaner are going to be doing variant covers. So there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Daniel Semper is coming back to team up with Tom King. But I gotta say, I feel, and I want to know if any of you guys feel like this too. I feel like this character is being shoved down my throat.
Should be Yara Floor.
I can see that perspective, Sean. And I feel you. And I know you of all people are hesitant to use that phrase too.
Yeah, I don't even like that phrase at all, actually.
Yeah. But when it comes to Tom King, he gets a long leash for me. So like, let him cook is my catchphrase, I guess. But like, I'll let him cook a bit, especially after his most recent stuff. Like sometimes it needs to percolate a little long,
Sure.
especially his ongoing stuff. You know, like with Batman, which I argue is a very good run. So I'm okay with this, and I'm okay with it. I mean, it does feel a little cash grabby. It's like, hey, here all you speculators, all these different variant covers and all that, come buy this book. So we got a cute little bump in sales. But I think that's my negative feeling on it. But in terms of like the actual text of it, like I'm fine. I'll check it out.
Can't shove it down my throat if I don't care about it.
Heard that one.
We see it all the time, but I don't know. I haven't been necessarily excited on Trinity even after Wonder Woman 800. Like, I still think that they introduced too many of these spin-off of potential, Wonder Girl characters and whatnot, and they should have stuck around with. Damn, I just miss Yara Flor, bro. I want a good book.
Welcome to being a Wonder Girl fan, my man.
God damn it.
Marco, that also tracks for you.
She's fun. She's just a good character.
Sure.
I think the problem is that they introduce so many of these, spin-off characters or sons or daughters or whatever, and it's like some of them do get kind of lost in the shuffle. We've seen it. Look, who is the like unloved Robin? Which Robin is the one that you feel like, I have my answer?
Duke.
Tim Drake.
Tim.
Oh. Duke doesn't even count, I guess.
He's not Robin. He's never been Robin.
Well, he was in We Are Robin, but I guess that's like a...
Yeah, it's not... He wasn't Robin. He's never been Robin.
Carrie Kelly? Does that count?
No,
I
she's
guess.
different.
I don't feel like she does.
Carrie
But
Kelly
yeah.
is literally the redheaded stepchild.
But like it's Tim Drake for Batman. For Superman, it's Kale, help me out. You know who I'm thinking of.
Connor.
Thank you, Connor.
It's genuinely it's that generation, the 90s sidekick generation. Tim Drake, Connor Kent, Bart Allen, and Cassie Sandsmark. Let's go.
Yep.
Boom.
Also, your favorite generation of Jeff Johns' Teen Titans.
That's why I'm frustrated, Tyler.
and so to speak to what Marco was saying, you know, you get invested in a character, they shove them aside to introduce the new sidekick who is supposed to be better or more interesting, and the old ones go away. We didn't even have a chance to get invested in Yada because she's gone now. We don't even know, you know, where she is in the world. Deuces, exactly. So it is frustrating from that perspective. But then I also get frustrated by the fact that I don't care that Wonder Woman has a daughter, to be honest. I don't. I didn't care when Superman had a son at first.
Yeah.
And when Batman had a kid, I got invested because the kid was there and it made sense narratively. Grant introduced Damian as a narrative device. Damian was not actually intended to be a full-fledged character going forward. This is something that Grant has talked about. So that worked because the intention wasn't to get us to fall in love. It was to tell a good story, and we fell in love. A lot of people didn't love Damian at first.
I still don't.
Well, there you go. With Trinity, it's kind of like, hey, she's better than Damian. She's better than John. She's better than Bruce. She's the best superhero ever. Why? Because she's Wonder Woman's daughter. Don't you care? I don't.
Kind of feels like when you're playing in the backyard with your friends and you have that one annoying friend who comes up with the most broken rules for his character.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or the one who does the draft and always just picks the strongest characters, you know, with no nuance at all.
Yeah, right.
Like, yeah. Like
Go ahead, Kill.
And they haven't given us a reason to care.
Right.
Like they haven't shown us that she's better than them, you know, than all the other characters that you listed. Her personality sure isn't.
Yeah.
To be fair, we haven't seen her outside of one issue though, like or some backups as well.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't merit the introduction, I feel like, or like the solo introduction.
So Sylv actually had an interesting comment saying, I don't think Wonder Woman should even have a daughter, honestly. There's an expectation for women that we should.
Yeah, sure.
I don't disagree. And it's also like one of the things I was like, all right, Tom King is writing this. Oh, it's all guys writing this book again. From this perspective, let's see what they can do. But, you know, so.
Tyler, the last time you made that point, Sylv ribbed us for being an all-male panel talking about that fact. So,
yeah.
Look, Superman has a son, you know, Bruce has a son. They wanted to give Wonder Woman a kid. I don't think Wonder Woman is the same kind of character. I like the idea that she would not have a kid, at least not right now. Right now, it feels to me like following the trajectory of the other characters, whereas I think Wonder Woman needs to get established. Like, they need to tell great Wonder Woman stories that center her, not her future kid. Her, right now, today.
Or even if they want to lift up a Wonder Woman, you know, sidekick, do one of the 15 she has.
Right.
Or there are hundreds in Themyscira, like, that already exist. Yeah.
Organize these people, man, because, like, who's what, who does where, who fights with whom, like, it gets confusing.
We're still wondering about, like, who's the daddy, you know, like, how did Trinity get born? I don't even know how Wonder Woman was made. Like, her origin is confusing enough. I'm assuming Trinity is probably going to be, you know, Wonder Woman's a planet Wonder Woman's origin of being made from clay out of just pure willpower,
right?
Where there really is no father. That's what I'm assuming, because I feel like that is a very boring trope. Spider-Woman did it fine, the whole who's the dad mystery, and I actually like the conclusion of that. But yeah, I think that's a fair assumption to have about Trinity.
And AH says Superman with a family feels truly genuine. Absolutely. I wasn't saying that I don't like the idea now. When it first happened, I wasn't into it, but I also feel like Superman wasn't as established. Like the Superman books have gotten a lot better. And now when I read them, I'm like, man, this is good stuff because it's earned. But I think just throwing a kid in the mix, it's like 90s television sitcoms. When they ran out of ideas, they threw a kid in the mix.
Get a baby.
Yeah, it's not earned.
I will say, I actually find Superman more compelling with the kid. Like, that's what clicked for me is once John Kent came around when he was like a little kid.
Well, but I think that's, all credit there's due to Peter Tomasi. He made
Stories
that
were
work.
Yeah.
And also at the time, when John Kent came around, we had New 52 Superman doing other things. Whereas this Superman he had a family and we didn't know about him, and his adventures were being a dad, and that made it interesting.
Right.
What's funny is like John Kent's a Dan Jurgens creation too. Like it was a Convergence creation. So it's weird to see that like Dan Jurgens is like Superman Old Guard, but even then he has a lasting kind of power for modern Superman comics.
Let's shift gears. This comes out in January, by the way, so
Cool
we'll
covers.
probably be reading it. Yeah, cool covers, good stuff, good art. Ty, let's skip the next one, okay? And let's talk about Zorro, if you can believe that.
Oh, like a good Zorro book.
We're getting a Zorro book. We're getting a new Zorro book. So that's fun. It's gonna be by Sean Murphy.
Whoa.
Huh?
Okay.
Massive Publishing is putting it out.
Oh.
And if you want to support it now and get it early, it's on Kickstarter.
Okay.
What is Massive Publishing again?
It's a small publisher.
It's a small publisher. Remember Whatnot? You ever
Yeah.
hear Whatnot? That's massive. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about Whatnot, but they give me the ick, and I don't know how to. It kind of came about that time when like NFTs and blockchain and all that stuff was happening, and it's like, oh, here's this come to my Whatnot where you can stream and buy this exclusive variant that it just feels like the parts of comics I don't like. So having another big name creator who can sell this book on his name alone go to Kickstarter is also being like, all right, come on.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, have that conversation.
I knew that would happen.
If you're a publisher, you got to put your book out, and this is a way to do it. I feel like it makes sense financially. Like, go out and be able to crowdfund. Maybe you get to publish 7,000 instead of 700. I don't mind more comics in the hands of people.
It's just tricky. I would like, I know we have people in the chat who have run their own Kickstarters. I'm curious to see what their opinions on this are, because I have not. But in my opinion, like, Kickstarter should really just be for like, I don't know, like the little guy, being able to actually crowd things from like a grassroots level.
Yeah.
Where this feels like, I'm trying to think of like an analogous.
Berserk.
Keanu Reeves doing. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Oh, I still thought that was.
Well, we know.
I didn't think that was a problem, the Keanu Reeves Berserker book, because that felt to me like, hey, Keanu Reeves is not a name from comics. He's not a creator from comics. His name being attached is going to bring eyes to this project in a way that it wouldn't otherwise have. And those people probably don't support comic book Kickstarters anyway. So it's not playing to the audience of traditional weekly comic book readers. And I also thought that's why the prices were higher. It made sense in my head. This one, I feel a little different about. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure that I'm on the side of like, this should never happen, but it feels different because Sean Gordon Murphy is a name in comics who has a built-in audience, who are absolutely going to support this comic. They're going to go out and buy it. This is going to do well in the direct market. I'm not sure I understand why it needed a Kickstarter. So the goal was $40K, which is a lot of money. It's a lot of money. I believe this is a 4 or 5 issue book. I think it's 5 issues. And, they're going to put out all the nice hardcover collections with variants and everything like that. They have a huge Kickstarter plan. By all accounts, it looks cool if you invest. But it's raised $177,000 already.
God damn.
I'm coalescing my thoughts a little better now. This feels like, and this is kind of part and parcel for both Whatnot and Sean Gordon Murphy, a cash grab. Whereas I feel like Kickstarter, traditionally, it feels like a place where people can put their passion projects on there, and that passion can show to gain support to be able to build and kind of actualize that passion. Where this feels like, how much money can we milk out of it? Almost antithetical to the platform itself. Because what is it kickstarting? Nobody's career. It's kickstarting more more money in the wallets of these people. Really, that's all it is. And that's exactly what Whatnot is for all the variants they do. And that's exactly what he does. Murphy does when he gets those rent payments. But yeah, it just smells bad to me.
I'm going to buy this book, not on Kickstarter, but I'm going to buy it in stores. I think the Kickstarter offering is cool if you have expendable income and whatnot, but $50 is the price of the story. And it's only 88 pages of story. So to get this book on Kickstarter, the hardcover graphic novel, it is $50. It is a KS exclusive deluxe edition, to be fair, but it is only 88 pages of story.
Does Sean Gordon Murphy come to your house and brand you with the Zorro thing himself? We paid $10 for 63 pages with Gods this week.
Does he just go to put up? Is that how he does eviction notices now? He just puts a Z in the door,
Chillmonger says maybe that's okay. Maybe he introduced Kickstarter to a new user who will back others now.
That's a hard maybe.
Yeah,
that
is
is
maybe. Yeah.
Look, and that's always possible. I don't think that anyone doing this is malicious, right? They're living their own life. They're thinking, hey, this is a great way to get exposure for the book that we're doing. More people will probably have eyes on it because it's going to be popular. It's Zorro. We can get people from outside of comics, which is hard to do in the direct market. It really is. Let's not even undersell that. If you want to do a Zorro comic, any comic, the hardest way to get people to know about it is to sell it in the direct market. Why? Because you're competing with so much other stuff, and it's hard to go to comic shops. But if you're a huge Zorro fan, right, and you're 40, 50 years old, and you love Zorro, but you don't read comics like that, and you see this, and it looks great because it's Sean Gordon Murphy, you'll buy it. $50, why not? You love Zorro.
With the bigger publishers getting into Kickstarter, I wish Kickstarter would help improve their discoverability a bit more. Imagine somebody, imagine Sylve's, Kickstarter showed up as you may also like, with people looking at the Zorro thing. Imagine what that would do for smaller publishers. So I wish there was a way where that could be a little better. I think they do that, but not as prominently. And I think it should be more prominent for ones that are well known being made by publishers rather than, people.
Yeah, it's a dicey one, especially right now because there is a conversation happening all over comics, Twitter, and the spaces where comics people talk about the fact that Kickstarters have not been doing too well lately, and a lot of people's Kickstarters have been either failing outright or just hitting their mark and not really getting to stretch goals. And people are talking about why, the economy, things like that. And then you have a massive publishing Sean Gordon Murphy Zorro book that does gangbusters, absolutely tremendous, $77 is more than most creators will sniff in several years.
$177,000.
I'm sorry. $177 is tough, but $177,000 is just insane. And so I think the timing also kind of hurts. But look, this is the name of the game, and massive publishing could use eyeballs on it if they want to get to the next level.
And I don't mind comics creators getting paid well. Like, let's say they're 40K goal to whatever distribution, they were going to be able to split that dollar amount out between them. The artists, the inkers, the people involved, like, if they're getting a bigger piece of that pie, again, I don't think that's a bad thing.
Do Tyler or Kale, do you guys disagree with what Marco said? Probably not the fundamental, but like, how do you feel about what he just said?
No. I don't feel fundamentally wrong with that. I think this is just leading into a lot of things that are bad about comics publishing right now, with variants, and this is all the stuff that comic shops complain about is all baked into this. So I think making your money off of that is like, I guess that's where my ick comes from. Because the variant boom or bust rather that's happening right now is what the direct market is like. Hey, this is what's bad about comics right now, and this is like, hey, let's do all of that. Let's make this all about that.
And sorry, just to shout this out, this made $177,000 in just 3 days.
Right.
It still has 27 days to go. 1,467 backers. Holy shit.
So that's a lot of interest and engagement. And, Tyler, your point about variants, I agree with everything you said. The only thing I disagree with is the fact that this is outside of the direct market. And so to me, that's a differentiator because these backers are in on this book regardless. And if you're investing $50 to get the variants that are exclusive to Kickstarter and won't be available anywhere else, I don't think that hurts anyone. In this case, I think when it's on Kickstarter, when it's on someone's personal website, I think that's fine. I think variants hurt the direct market. Sil says she says it does show up on other campaigns. I can see those analytics. So her Kickstarter shows up on other people's campaigns, which is cool. I love that. That's great. Vinny Whitlock says Marvel already has a Zorro, though. Basically, isn't he called the Punisher, especially in the modern era? I feel like Batman is the Zorro equivalent in comics.
Roboters also mentions this gives the wrong incentive for pricing to the consumers. I think that's interesting because if it's $50 for the hardcover, 88 of actual story, and it looks like 136 of whatever plus content.
Yeah.
Still, that's maybe it's a bad incentive for other Kickstarter people, but then other Kickstarter people might make a little bit more cash off of that. So like I don't know, I'm mixed on it because it might also help support. If people follow the same kind of pricing model, maybe it'll benefit another creator.
Dude, I have backed books or gone to Comic-Con and bought books, and after the fact of the purchase, been like, what the hell did I buy? Why did I buy this? Like, overpriced, not delivering on, the amount of pages I would expect for the price, and the content kind of being shaky. So I say that to say that I think a lot of people don't think with their brains when they're on Kickstarter or at Comic-Con or things like that. Like, hey, there's only 27 days to back this. You love Zorro, right? How else are you going to get this? You don't necessarily know about the direct market. Where do you buy comics? It's here right now. I think that this is an outlier type of situation, whereas I don't think this influences the thought process of traditional weekly, monthly comics buyers. I don't think we look at this and get changed by it.
I was actually surprised looking into the rewards section of it, there wasn't a retailer tier. Because I know some Kickstarters will do a retailer tier where it's like a really expensive one, but the idea is that you get this to sell to the direct market. But I guess Massive also has its own publishing through the direct market, so this will probably be that's why that happens.
Right. And I don't want to comment too much on this because I don't know this to be a fact, and I don't want to say anything out of turn, but I feel like I guess I'll say that Massive / whatnot has their own trajectory of how they're trying to sell their comics that doesn't care as much about the direct market as other publishers do.
That feels like it's about to be funded by a Zorro Kickstarter.
Yeah. Their market is much more direct because it's just on your phone.
Yeah. Their market is direct.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You ever watch one of those Whatnot streams, by the way?
No, I have no interest in that kind of thing.
They're strange, man. It feels like old-timey auctions.
Yeah.
It feels somewhat predatory to me, honestly, but
Atomic Hound says, my LCS owner has the ultimate Comic-Con purchase and he wondered what he was getting into. I will put the story in Discord. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Would love to hear that. So Zorro, we'll read it when it comes out in the direct market because that's my comics.
I ain't paying $50 for 124 pages. Tell you that right now.
And 88 pages of story. The other 36 are like probably bonus art or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
Could take
it's like, what?
I'm not saying this shouldn't happen. I'm saying that if I'm supporting a comic book on Kickstarter, it ain't coming from a publisher that I know of. That's just not, I'm not doing that. I'll support, Syl's Kickstarter. I'll support, Jeremy Holtz or someone who we're friends with or a creator who's doing it by their bootstraps. But if come on, Sean Gordon Murphy,
Cullen Bunn,
I'm sorry, like do it. And if you're into that creator, go for it. But that's not where my money's going.
Sure.
Have you guys ever noticed how Cullen Bunn, not Cullen Bunn, come on, Marco.
What?
You ever noticed how Sean Gordon Murphy looks like a Sean Gordon Murphy drawing?
I never noticed that, but I agree with you.
And also in this picture, it looks like it also looks like he's going, what are you gonna do? $50 hardcover, 88 pages? Meh, you'll pay it.
It's me posing for thumbnails.
King of Queens.
Sylv, I don't think there is a more affordable paperback tier. No.
The lowest tier is either $1 and thanks or $20 for a digital edition.
Right.
And then it's straight to the $50 hardback.
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Not a lot of time to wait, though. Like I said, this Kickstarter will be over in 27 days. And then I think they're saying that we'll start to see the issues hit stores in January, I think I read. So,
yeah,
that'll be a lot of fun. What we have a long time to wait for, though, a painfully costly, in my case, long time to wait for, is the Fantastic Four movie. And guys, go ahead.
Sean can't back this campaign because he's got to pay Kefis for an omnibus.
Yeah, sorry, Sean Gordon Murphy. I can't afford your overpriced hardcover. I got to freaking ship an omnibus to Kefis because I lost a bet with a listener. For those of you who don't know, I said that the Fantastic Four movie would be out in 2024, and Kefis said no way. I don't even know why he said no to that, quite frankly. I thought that was a no-brainer, sure bet type thing, but he said no, took my bet, and it ain't happening, guys. I got news for you. It ain't happening.
Do you know Kefis' full name?
Relinquished, or are you saying it's not happening for Kefis?
No, I'm not relinquishing Jack, but I am saying Fantastic Four probably isn't hitting that 2024 release.
So Kefis is only his internet name, right? You know his real name, right? Matt Shackman.
Oh man. Speaking of Matt Shackman, who people may know or remember from WandaVision, He was the person who spearheaded that whole thing. He has been picked as the director of Fantastic Four. That's not new information. But because of the strike, the only Fantastic Four anything we've heard about is from My Time to Shine Hello on Twitter, who seems to know everything that's happening in the MCU and the DCU behind the scenes with those crazy rumors.
I hate those Twitter accounts.
But finally, now that the strike is over, at least the writer's strike, Matt Shakman has talked a little bit about what's coming with the Fantastic Four. So first off, he was asked about casting for the 4 actors, and he said, hard to say. Like I said, we're in the middle of a SAG strike, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they get a great deal really soon and we can go back. Then, once that's resolved, there will be a plan at that point, but I can't say too much. There will be an announcement at some point. I know that the internet is very excited to find out, and I'm excited to share it. I just can't do it yet. Do you think there has been any casting done yet? And he's being tight-lipped because he has to? Or do you think they really haven't made much progress?
I'm sure they have once. I don't think there's been casting, just because of the strike.
I bet the list is narrow, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet they have like a list that they're like waiting to put the stamp on.
And with the SAG strike, they just can't do anything, any actual movement there, unless they're casting like Drew Barrymore. But
That's Sue Storm.
Bill Maher as Reed Richards.
Oh,
That would suck.
Sue Storm is nice. Drew Barrymore is nice.
Drew Barrymore sucks ass.
No.
First of all,
she makes unfortunate decisions. She's fine.
She's a scab. And second of all, Sean knows his daytime TV. All right. I trust Sean's opinion on this.
Listen, privately, I called out that Ellen DeGeneres sucked and was completely right about that for years. I called out that Lizzo sucked, was completely right about that for years. Please, I'm not even going to get into all that. The only thing I'm wrong about is this fucking Fantastic Four movie at this point.
Well, who can trust you?
Sweeney.
Who can trust you?
Not me. So yeah, I don't think there's any casting that's been done yet. I think this is the movie that has been the most impacted by not only COVID, but the strike and everything else. I think Fantastic Four has just been batted around. Like Blade gets delayed, gotta delay Fantastic Four for some reason. Like it's just this movie is just never gonna happen, right? But if it does happen, when it does happen eventually, what will it be about? What kind of Fantastic Four movie are we gonna get? And Matt Shakman had words on that too. He said, quote, "It's different in so many ways. I wish I could be specific. I wish I could say more. But we are doing things very differently from a story standpoint, from an approach to the filmmaking standpoint that really fits the material. I wish I could say more. I would love to, but I can't. But I think it's going to be unlike anything you've seen before, and certainly unlike anything at Marvel that you've seen before. We've been nonstop. Despite the strikes, yes, we've been working with the effects and with production design and building our world, and that's been incredibly exciting. Because some things that work beautifully in John Byrne and Jack Kirby are a little tougher when you're filming them. How do you make sure that things are exciting but also grounded in a scientific thing, which is also part of the Fantastic Four I love? There's some stuff I'm super excited about. I can't say too much, you know.
This is going to be the best looking Fantastic Four movie, specifically because they were already working on the VFX while nobody else was working.
It feels like Matt Shakman just graduated from the school of James Gunn of saying a lot without saying anything. Just all carnival barking. That's all this is.
Well, I actually feel differently than that. I'm willing to take him at his word. I'm willing to take him at face value that they have a plan to make a Fantastic Four that is truly different than what we've seen before. So how do you do that? That's what we're going to talk about. I think there is a way, but I think it's ambitious, and I think it might turn some people off. I think you cannot do an origin story. It's played out. People don't want it. And that's not special. That's not unique.
Yeah.
What I think is unique is starting the Fantastic Four as adults, already living their lives, with children on a mission that puts them in a place that is unlike anything we've seen, something that resembles that Jack Kirby type of look, that crazy zaniness that really goes there in ways that Ant-Man Quantumania didn't. And that ends with them entering our Earth, either because they're from another Earth in the multiverse or because they are from this Earth, but they went away and now they're back. That's what I think. Sorry?
No, go ahead. I like the latter of that.
That's what I think they have to do.
And to make it like have them have kids already, I think you solidify them as the family, the like that, as that mentality. And you could be doing the stuff where, what is it, at the end or beginning of FF, where they're just navigating the stars, right? Visiting planets. That sounds cool as fuck. I'm 100% down for that. Easy.
It needs to be The Incredibles.
Ooh, yeah.
You know,
In
sort of
space.
that
Yeah.
in space. It needs to have that engine where we come in and they're a family.
Yeah.
They argue, they bicker. Reed Richards doesn't pay attention to any of his family, and Dr. Doom is here.
Yeah, The
Think
Incredibles
we-
is the best Fantastic Four movie.
The blueprint is there.
Yep.
Think it'd be Doom out of the gate?
It's always Doom out of the gate.
I hope it's not Doom out of the gate, but they need Doom in the MCU desperately.
Yeah.
Galactus.
I think MCU needs Doom
Kang's
out
off
of the
table
gate.
now. Gotta get Doom.
Yeah.
I'm all in on Annihilus. I really, really want them to use him. I think the Annihilation Wave is a crazy concept that the Fantastic Four have beaten. I believe they've beaten Annihilus before. I mean, he's a Fantastic Four villain. And so I think that is something that they can do. It's big. It feels epic. It's an event-like boss. But the Fantastic Four have to prove that they can deal with that kind of thing because Galactus and Doom are their enemy. So get started strong.
And I think Nihilus is good too because it's more of a force of nature, you know? You don't need to worry about the Annihilus's inner machinations, you know? So you can give that extra time to building the family up as characters.
Yeah, exactly. We don't need to focus on that villain because he's just who he is, and really the threat is the wave, and having the cosmic control rod, which I think again Marvel loves their little baubles and whatevers, MacGuffins. So I think the cosmic control rod would be a great one to add into the MCU.
Oh, and maybe like sort of transpose that with the one that Reed uses to beat Galactus.
Yes. I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I can't either. I'm sure Hound will tell us in a second. And sort of, I mean, you could even make it like the Galactus wave if you didn't make it Annihilus, like
Yeah.
have it, slap those two together and, do that. Like that makes perfect sense.
It'd be interesting if they're running away from Galactus, like as they're exploring whatever the worlds, and like that's sort of just looming over them, and they finally make it to Earth, and they bloop accidentally brought him there, and he's just kind of fucking chilling, floating over the planet.
The nullifier. Thank you, Harris.
There
Vin
you
Diesel
go.
as Galactus.
The
Let's
ultimate
go.
nullifier. Yeah. I think different and unique is absolutely the right play with Fantastic Four. They can't just be living in the Baxter building, having, or not even living in the Baxter building, like origin stuff.
Yeah.
They cannot do that with them.
But Sean, how do I know who these people are?
I think we've had Fantastic Four movies, and you can still do their origin, but do it smart. Like the Batman has the origin of Bruce Wayne in it, but the Batman is not an origin movie. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
make it Alex Ross credits like Spider-Man 2. Like we don't need it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. Give us the cliff notes up front. or let the story tell their origin story through their interactions, but they need to have kids. They need to have kids. We can't sit through X amount of movies without the kids and then Sue's pregnant or they have the kids off screen or whatever. No.
Yeah.
No.
What if this is where Wanda's kids went?
To where they Reed and Sue?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Well, my last question to you guys is, are you still excited for this movie? The answer is yes, but go ahead.
Nope.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm finished with the MCU.
Oh.
I don't know.
Ooh.
I don't know what I come here to talk about the comic books. You guys keep dragging me into this.
I'm at my core, no, I'm not excited. Do I also realize I can be a corporate shill? Yeah, I do. So, as of now, no. But as soon as I see that trailer, I'm a cave. I have no self control. Especially if they put Blastar in it. I'm in.
Blastar?
Yeah, Blastar, the guy from the Negative Zone.
I don't remember him.
Oh, he's great.
Outside, I don't know about this. Forget it.
Kind of looks like Calabac from DC.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I actually have seen him.
He's blue and gray. He was in the Civil War stuff a lot. Yeah.
We got to poll up. Are you excited for Marvel's Fantastic Four film? Let us know if you are interested, if you're looking forward to it. As we move forward into this week's draft, because of course, you all answered the call. You smashed that like button. You got us over twice. So we have to reward you. You know what time it is. We are drafting our team of Titans. So how many people are typically on the Titans? Like 7?
5.
6.
I think it's like 6. So you've got your typical team is
Wait,
Robin.
Hold on.
Well, I'm going off like the show.
There is a slide up that has 6
stereotypical-
people.
Word. Give me points.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we will draft 5 for the sake of, our lives. And then the other question is, are we only allowing characters who have already been Titans, or are we allowing general young DC characters?
I feel like the latter makes more sense. Because I can think of characters that would fit on the Titans perfectly who have not historically been on it. Right. And also, my knowledge of every Titans member is limited.
Y'all dumb. Y'all are going down. I don't know. I think it's more interesting if it's only Titans members.
Of course you would think that. You'll win.
There's advantage. Everybody's been in the Titans except the adults.
Right. It's mostly just it's your sidekicks. That's what I was working off. I'm just like, who's a sidekick for a Justice League member?
So you're saying that whatever we come up with will probably be a right answer no matter what.
Yeah, genuinely. Because you're also like, did you guys know Zatanna has a sidekick that was a Titan for a minute?
No way.
Oh.
Like, you come up with that guy's name, he probably counts.
Oh, it was a guy, right? Zatanna?
Or something, yeah.
All right, well, that's my first pick.
Is it?
So we have to, of course, determine the order of how, of who will be drafting where. Tyler typically goes last. We'll see if that tradition holds true. But yeah, the rules are it's a snake draft. So, it's a snake draft. We're drafting 5. And the way we win is the audience decides. And how do we determine the winner? I don't know, whatever your metric is. But go ahead.
Is this going to be any young person, or is this going to be Titans members?
Kale, I think only you benefit if it's only Titans members because I don't think we can. It would be
with that knowledge.
yeah.
I'm telling you can do it.
Yeah,
I don't even know that I could, honestly. I truly don't.
Yeah, I think it's got to be young people
Bunch
just
of
in
cowards.
terms of.
Don't believe me then.
Oh, I just got to say it's got to be logistically better. Otherwise, we'd be looking up everyone to confirm. So
That's also true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right, so we'll do it like that. Young DC characters, so like you can't say Batman, but you can figure it out for yourself from there. And so here we go. I will be rolling. I'll roll for myself first. That is a 7. I will now roll for Kale. That is a 6. Tyler. Oh, it fell off. I will roll again. Oh, my God.
No fucking
is it a 2?
way.
Is it a 2?
What?
It's a 3. You guys saw it.
Yeah.
Even though
And
there
now-
was a 6 on the first roll.
Yo,
It
give me the
was,
10.
but it fell off. What do you want me to do? And now for Marco.
Give me the 10.
A 6.
So who's got to do rollies? You and Marco, Sean?
It's
Kale
me.
and
Me and Marco. Yeah.
Okay.
so this. Oh, I didn't say who it was for, so I'm not going to count that.
Good.
That would be unfair. That was a Snake Eyes too. I'll roll for Marco first. What is up with you?
The 10?
A 12 again.
Ooh, let's go.
That happened last week.
Kale, don't even bother.
I
It's
think.
fine.
I'll still.
It's
I mean,
yeah.
maybe.
It's
Yeah, no, it's 5. All right. So the order will be myself, Marco, Kale, and Tyler.
All right.
I still think it's rigged. I don't know how you're doing it, but it
Everybody
is
accuses me of having
logistically
loaded dice.
improbable for me to go last every time.
Dude, I don't know. And look at what Catherine said. Tyler last for picks, but always first in our hearts. There you go.
That doesn't help me win, Catherine. I'm sorry.
No, that's true. Well, isn't winning Catherine's heart worth more than winning this?
No,
draft
that just
game?
means she just sends me feet memes on Instagram. If that's
All
what I
right,
want,
well,
then
I'm going to kick us off. By drafting a little old character called John Kent Superman.
Oh, interesting.
Sean going
I'm-
power
see,
right
he's
away.
never been a Titan. He's not a Titan. It
All
doesn't-
right, but he could be.
I'm going to do Robin, Dick Grayson.
So you're doing it
Uh,
as Robin, not Nightwing. Because we're doing Titans. We're not doing Teen Titans. So you can do Nightwing if you want.
Oh, Dick Grayson.
Okay. You just want the booty shorts. I get
I'm
it.
writing Nightwing.
Okay.
I'm gonna do Tim Drake Robin.
All right. Tyler
Give
with
me... Give me Wally West.
Give me Connor Kent.
Wait, I go twice. I go
does-
twice.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And I also want Starfire.
All right, not bad. I will take Connor Kent.
Raven.
Damn. All the good ones are getting snatched up. I will choose Cyborg.
Mhm.
And I'm going to also go with Damian Wayne.
I'm going to do Speedy.
Nice.
Surely he's been a Titan.
I mean, Arsenal? This is the same character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There's also Mia something or other.
Yeah.
She's also speedy. I will go Bart Allen Impulse.
Give me Cassie Sandsmark.
Son of a bitch.
And also give me... We're doing 6 or 5, Sean?
5.
5, okay. Also give me... Give me Kid Devil.
Oh, no idea who that is.
That's a shout out. But, yeah. He's Blue Devil's protege, essentially. Yeah.
Kale?
Give me Donna Troy.
Oh, damn it. That was literally next.
Marco.
Hold on a second. God.
Whoa, 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 whoa! We're looking shit up. I didn't know that was part of the
I
game.
have a list. I'm referencing my list.
He's just crossing out the people who already been taken.
Yeah, that's it. I'm
Marco,
strategizing here.
Marco has to fucking work for this.
Yeah, I'm strategizing out here. Does static count?
Yeah, he's been a
Yeah, he's
Titan.
actually been a Titan. Yeah.
All right, then I got
Sick
maybe
as
one more.
fuck.
I think
Damn,
we can do
we
6.
trade?
I think we can do 6.
Cyborg.
Nah.
Wow. Why'd you pick Cyborg at that? You only have one token on your team.
I didn't know static counted. I didn't even think of him.
My thumb's not even up.
And
Kale
Kale,
throwing out
okay.
those likes.
Kale, to give you,
Maybe.
you're right. It is a Mac thing. I watched the show I wasn't on, and I thought that was hilarious when it happened. But it's a Mac thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what I'm doing then? I'm drafting Trinity. How about that?
Whoa.
Okay, Tom.
Gross.
How about that?
Don't you go one more time?
Yeah.
You're
He
excited
said,
for that one.
hell yeah, I do. Ooh. I know who I want. Y'all never see this coming.
Don't say that. Damn. It's making me feel like I'm missing somebody really good.
You are.
What freaking Flash can I get?
Can I just throw this out there real quick?
All the Titans have been taken.
Can we do 6?
No, we're doing 5.
I might be able to do 6.
We're just gonna change it in the middle of the game.
There's 6 on the current Titans lineup. There's 6 people. So
I don't give a shit.
Sean's out here struggling.
I'm just
No,
I'm
I'm not. It's not
conflicted
that I'm
now.
struggling. It's that these are the rules we established. All right, maybe I'm struggling. No, I'm gonna take Beast Boy.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's out. Then for my, wait, is this the last one? Yeah, right.
This is your last one, correct? Yeah.
Aqualad.
Oh,
It's gonna kill me to lose this person. All right, Kyle Rayner.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. I will not be taking this character, but I'm surprised somebody picked him. Connor Kent. Nobody picked that one. Interesting.
It was my
Kale's
second
good.
pick.
Oh, you did pick it. Okay. I want Sideways. Give me Sideways.
oh, cool.
One of my favorite new characters.
Yeah, he was like that fake Spider-Man dude.
Yeah. It was DC's attempt at a young Spider-Man like character, even though they had Blue Beetle the entire time.
And then Marco, you have one left, yeah?
No,
No,
that's it.
Aqualad.
Oh no, that is 5. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we are all done. We have all drafted. So I had John Kent, Cyborg, Damian Wayne, Trinity, and Beast Boy, which according to Atomic Hound, I have cheated. Kale has Tim Drake, Connor Kent, Impulse, Donna Troy, and Kyle Rayner. It's pretty strong. Marco got Nightwing, Raven, Speedy, Static, and Aqualad. I'd read that book. And Tyler got Wally West, Starfire, Cassie Sandsmark, Kid Devil, and Sideways. That's pretty weird and unique.
Yeah.
Same.
I like Marcos.
Word, I like mine.
Well, we allowed a trade around. Is that a new rule for this?
I
That'd be-
wish
that'd
we
be
freaking
interesting.
could, man.
I made
I
a
wanna trade.
TCP draft logo now, so we're official now. This is a full on segment.
Oh
So
yeah,
if you
that's
wa-
cool. I didn't even notice that. Fuck.
It's a play on the NFL draft logo.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
maybe we
I
should
do
start
know.
maybe we should start a fantasy game. Ooh.
Oh, yo.
This is
We've talked about that before. We got to just do it. You're right. Absolutely. That'd be fun.
gross.
Listeners, we leave it to you to tell us who won this week's draft.
Marco,
heard-
don't cheat.
Yeah, don't vote for yourself,
I'm
Marco.
not even in the account. I'm not even in the right account.
And can I just say to the live chat, I'm specifically speaking to you all now, that the fact that you're not voting for me because I have John Kent and Trinity on the team, it's bogus. They'd be eligible. Come on.
They got aged up. They're not even young characters.
What? John Kent is young. He's like 18.
That makes him a legal adult.
And legal to be on the Titans. We're not even talking Teen Titans. I'm a man, still a teen. No one took Ravager. That would have been a good pick.
Ravager would be a good pick, yeah.
That was who I was going to. She was my 5th one, and I miscounted, and I had Kylo Rayner as my 6th. But I knew I had to get that powerhouse, so I went with Green Lantern.
Did you guys have a 6th? I was gonna do Terra next.
Mine was Ravager.
Hell no, I didn't have a 6.
Sean said 5. That's it.
Yeah.
Been a good one.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed that draft. Thank you so much for participating and voting. We'll tell you the result of the vote a little bit later. For now, I want to remind you that next week is New York Comic Con, and we will be at the event. So we've got a lot of things cooking for that event. We're going to be doing interviews from Artist Alley. We're going to be speaking to all your favorite creators. If there are creators you want us to interview, let us know, and we'll try to get them, get some time with them. We're going to be taking pictures and videos of cosplayers and all that kind of cool stuff. I'm going to be posting a blog on our Patreon page, patreon.com/thecomicspals, that you will be able to read for absolutely free. All you have to do is go to the page and you'll be able to read it, one every day from Thursday to Sunday. I will post a blog for you for free. Programming note reminder, next week, Pals Pulls, which you can watch every single Thursday typically on youtube.com/thecomicspals, will actually be Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So Pals Pulls on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. The main show, this very show, Sunday at an undisclosed time. And it's only undisclosed because we don't know it yet. But as soon as we figure it out, we will let you know when that will be.
In the Discord, on Twitter, and all the places, make sure you keep an eye out.
Absolutely. So, just keep up with us. Find out when we're going to be doing the show. We're going to have a lot of fun. And we hope that you guys choose us for your New York Comic Con coverage, because we're going to be doing a lot of it. Between all of our shows and things, we got a lot coming. So, live book club, October 30th, the long Halloween. We're going to be talking about that. Next week, we'll continue our top 5 Batman books countdown series. And stick with us for everything else that we got going on. Join our Discord server. Huge shout out to the dude who emailed us a question. Felt so good to get an email from Christian, so thank you.
Felt
Send
old
more
school.
emails.
Yeah, it felt like a telegram. I thought it was going to be in Morse code. It was
Carrier pigeon.
Ooh.
The
You can also be reached.
It's the only way to reach Kale.
Yeah, or sending stone. Yeah.
Send a kite.
Hell yeah.
Fly a kite.
But yeah, thank you for that. If you guys want to email us, contact@thecomicspals.com. You can send us anything you want. If you want to send us questions, comments, anything like that.
As the guy who checks the email, don't send anything you want. Make it relevant.
You said as the guy that checks the email?
Yeah, I get the alerts way too often on my phone. So
I think I would hope we all get the alerts.
Send
You're not the
anything
guy.
you want.
Send anything.
I don't get the alerts.
Oh.
So
Let's do the plugs. Kale, you're up.
thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Comics Pals. You can find me on Instagram at Toto in Tow. That's TOTOINTOW. You can find my work at KaleWard.com. That's ALEWARD.com.
Marco.
You can find me at Mr. Marco Animoto on Instagram, Twitter, and all other platforms. Talk to me.
That's me. You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, X. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. And as for me, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. Thanks so much for listening. For the rest of the pals, I'm Sean saying thank you. We love you. And until next time, take care, guys.
See you next week.